Thanks for joining us for Season 8 of the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders at Branded Strategic share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the Finance Guy. I'd like to introduce my partner, Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the Restaurant Guy.
And thanks for that introduction, Jimmy. And to all those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. Together, we are the personalities behind Branded Strategic Hospitality. We work at the intersection of hospitality, technology, innovation, and capital. Jimbo, we are in Dallas. We are at FSTEC live. It is unbelievable. It is great.
We are very excited
I love
today.
the giant dome we're in.
Yes, I mean, I got to tell you,
Gaylord Dome.
What has got Jerry Jones? He's got nothing on this place.
This
nothing.
is bigger than 18.
This is the Gaylord, baby. Listen, we're really excited to bring you a special episode of Hangout live from FSTEC. But instead of just having one guest, we're here to talk to four amazing innovators and
legal?
entrepreneurs.
Can we do that? Is that legal?
It's not
in Texas, I think.
In Texas, it's definitely legal.
Okay.
Four amazing innovators and entrepreneurs from Cargill Digital Studios. Shatsy, let's go.
Daryl Hahn is here from Digital Business Studio. He's the Digital Business Studio lead at Cargill. Daran, great to have you here. Tell us a little bit about Cargill and the Digital Studio.
Shatsy, I appreciate that. And thanks, Jimmy, for having us
Absolutely.
here with you. Really enjoy being with you guys. I'm sure everybody listening knows these guys very, very well, but they do it right. And so we're happy to be here with you. I think.
What about Minnesota? What about Minnesota?
You want to talk about Minnesota?
Yeah, I was in Minnesota with you. I mean, come on.
Shatsy's so proud that he gets to spend time with you without
Minnesota.
me in Minnesota. He's
The
so
Hamptons of Minneapolis.
The Hamptons of Minneapolis.
Yes.
So a quick side story on that is we were having lunch out in Minnetonka, and Shatsy kind of asked, "What is this place like?" And I said, "This is like the Hamptons of Minnesota."
And I've never forgotten that.
There you go.
Anybody that tells me they're from Minnesota, I'm like, do you know where the Hamptons of Minnesota is? And Why is that?
Why is that?
Comes up.
Yeah.
Love it.
You've been there.
Jimmy's never been there.
Jimmy, we got to get you up there.
I'm looking forward to it.
But I appreciate the question, Shatsy. And I think to answer that question and talk about the Digital Business Studio, we have to talk about the history of Cargill and what we've been doing over the last decade or so. Big company.
You're older than that.
We're older than that. So we've been around for 165 years, but over the last couple of decades, we've really kind of doubled down around investing in new solutions and integrating the way that we bring our entire offerings to our customers. I think spending time here at FSTEC is interesting. It's a little unexpected. We get a lot of questions from attendees. Hold on a second. What is Cargill doing? I think you guys asked us the same question when we first met as well.
What does Cargill do?
No, what they do? What are they doing here?
And what are they doing here?
They're a youthful company, very youthful, 165, but they look great. A lot of vitamin B.
They don't do a lot of business though, Jimmy. They're a very small company.
Oh yeah. I don't think we've heard of them. Cargill? Actually, it's Cargill. I think people are mispronouncing it.
You can call us whatever we want.
So what are you doing?
They're bigger and badder than everyone we know.
Outside of us inviting you, what are you doing here?
I think it's a good question. And so we're kind of founded in the history of entrepreneurship over the last 165 years. As we think about what's ahead for us, and we look at the environment that we serve in agri-food, everything we're seeing is a digital disruption starting to come in and impact the environment that we operate in. And as Cargill, we're investing in a digital business studio, which is really, in its simplest form, a place where we incubate and build new businesses from the ground up, because we believe that we can mesh the capabilities, the expertise, the resources that Cargill has. If we can just get lean and be entrepreneurial in approach, we can do a lot of really good work to impact the environment. So that's a lot of the strategy and the reason behind this and why we're engaging in this kind of work. We're really excited about what we're doing. And, there's lots of things to get right in this process. We have a couple of really great guests today that you'll hear from, and new businesses are being built out. So make sure you grill them and kind of get the download on what's going on there. But we spent a lot of time thinking about the operating model. So how do we get the right entrepreneurs in the right positions? How do we bring resources around them from our expertise, our go-to-market, and our supply chain side of it? And then how do we get the investment thesis right? So picking the right businesses in the right spaces that we believe we can uniquely win in to be able to make those investments and build those businesses. So that's a lot of what we're working on. And as we look at this space, it's really cool to see all the companies here at FSTEC. We kind of look at our portfolio in three major areas. The first area is, as we think about the guests of the future and the guests of today, they keep changing, right? You know it very well, being in hospitality, what they're looking for, how they want to experience food.
Everyone eats and drinks a little different.
Everybody eats and drinks a little bit different. And I think also with the new generation of consumers, as they increase in spending power and buying power, they're looking for different service models and experiences as well. So a big part of our portfolio is oriented around how do we create really integrated digital experiences for the guest and solutions that we bring to food service in the marketplace. The second big part, you can't avoid it. Back of house investment has been lagging for a very, very long time.
Yes, it's not sexy.
It's not sexy. It's dirty.
People just want food to come out. They don't want to know, they like the front of the house.
They don't appreciate the complexity of what's going on in the back house.
They don't want to know. It's hot in the kitchen, and no one wants that. The air conditioning's in front of the house. No one wants to be in the back of the house.
Well, that's kind of the beauty of it, is that we care a lot about that. Coming from the food side in the food industry, we're really, really big on honoring the system, caring about the operator, caring about the experience that's happening in the back of the house. So a portion of our portfolio is very invested in how do we start to digitize and automate portions of the back of the house, be able to allow operators to save more time, operate more efficiently, and make better decisions. So we're very into getting to the dirty stuff in the back of the house, some of the boring things that can have a really, really big impact.
So what are some of the solutions Cargill's working on to help operators grow their brands and solve problems? What are some of the things you guys are doing?
So across some of these spaces, you'll hear from three of the companies today. Hot Take, which is a consumer insights platform.
Love Hot Take.
Yeah, it's all about trying to get
not
connected
sure about
to the
the
consumer.
poll last night, but I love Hot Take.
Shatsy's talking
Don't question
about
the data.
I'm not going to. You can never question the data.
Shatsy's talking about a cookie study we did last night with the team here. Mariah Carey's cookies.
Great cookies.
Yep, great cookies. Surprising winner.
Surprising winner. Are we allowed to talk about that right now? Is
that breaking news,
Is that breaking news?
That the Heath Bar beat the chocolate chip cookie?
That can't be possible, Jimmy.
It's a very eclectic crowd last night. Very eclectic.
It was. Hospitality crew, yeah.
Well, and that's the beauty.
Right.
That's the beauty of Hot Take. I think we were talking about this before getting on here, which is all about how do we create that moment to be able to capture the insight from the guests in an intuitive, natural way? How do we bring research design, the platform, the technology, intercept components of it all together? And the great part about being a part of Cargill is that Hot Take can put other resources behind that. Culinary capabilities, R&D, marketing, and broader insights tools like Cargill's got. So that's one of the businesses that's really driving towards understanding the consumer better in our portfolio. Here from Jessica in a little bit here. Kitchen Blueprint's here today as well. So Stacey leads that business, and that's one of those dirty businesses about the back of the house. And it's looking at how do we start to automate the inventory process and the data that's back there, integrating things like POS, ordering data, supplier data, recipes, bombs, et cetera, to be able to give operators a live view of inventory and eliminating the need to do cycle counting. Worrying about inventory back there is a very important thing from a P&L perspective, but it isn't always the number one thing on operators' mind.
No one likes doing inventory.
You got to count it.
There's no easy way of doing inventory. You have to count it.
Yeah, 100%. And so excited for her to talk about that. And then Chekt is here too. Chekt is here as well, the food locker business. And, there's quite a few food locker companies out here. If you walk the floors at FSTEC, I think the biggest thing I think about is we've looked at Chekt from a grounds up approach, process, hardware, and software, thinking about how do we create a digital pickup experience. Consumers, we talked about, are changing, and they're looking for new ways to be able to get food, especially for mobile ordering and the pickup of mobile ordering. Chekt becomes a really cool way to start to create a digital experience, a kind of a wow moment at the pickup point from restaurants. And that's just three of the ones you're going to hear from. There's other stuff in the portfolio. I won't spend too much time on it, but we're looking at order accuracy and automation in the expo and build side. We got a meal kit business.
Wait a minute. I asked the questions here. I didn't ask anything about that.
Check out Darren already preparing for the sequel.
He's like, hey.
Already getting ready for the sequel.
Let me talk to Darren. Just wait. I'll ask the questions, Darren. I didn't say anything about meal kits, okay? Before we move on to our other guests, by the way, and our branded quickfire, I just have to go back to Cargill a little bit. It's 165 years old. Just tell our listeners, how much business does Cargill do?
What am I allowed to say on that?
I mean, I can Google it and just tell everybody.
By the way, whatever you say, I'm going to put my pinky to my lip because it's going to be a
Darren
big
doesn't
number.
want to say.
It's going to be a big
I think
number.
it's like $150 billion company.
It's about that. Last year,
largest privately held company in the United States, if I'm not mistaken.
Largest privately held company, 150,000 employees across 60 to 70 countries operating globally. We work across agri-food, right? So from origination, primary processing of those ingredients across.
What are the top ingredients? Because it's really interesting. It's like they are
anything you can crush or mill. We're in that business.
It's like chocolate, sugar.
Those are things that
oil.
we're into. We're in chocolate. We're in the oils business. We're in emulsifiers, texturizers, additives.
So it's pretty much anything you eat.
Protein
Cargill
business.
probably touches it in some way.
Yeah.
I think that's really because no one's really heard of Cargill.
I think we're allowed to say this, but I think 70% of what you eat, upwards of 70%, we've touched at some point in the supply chain.
I don't think you'd say that. Jimmy, can he say that?
I think he said it, but you know what? As far as I'm concerned, breaking news to me.
He just said it.
He breaking news to me. What I actually really love, and I'm actually, Schatz, I give you credit. I think it was important to bring up Cargill because if you think about what Daran just talked about in his digital studio business, and then you think about Cargill, their history over a century and a half, the size, the girth, and yet they're an earlier stage player in the space than even we are.
Wow.
They're even earlier than we are. Like,
Wow.
I mean, talk about a barbell, one of the largest players in this industry is actually also playing in the innovative and technology space in food services earlier than we are. And we're a seed and series seed stage investor. I mean, boom, my head's spinning.
Makes me feel good that, we're playing in the same sport with Cargill.
Yeah, how long we been in business? Not, how much business do we do? Never mind.
All right. Listen, we got a lot to get to, so let me just go. I got the quick fire. Okay, this is the brand. This is the quick fire.
Ready,
Wait, you have one more question?
I was going to make a plug, but I can do that at the end. Let's do the quick fire. I'm ready to go.
Branded
I
quick
haven't looked
fire.
at these, by the way.
Texas edition. This is the Texas edition. This is famous. This is 5 lightning round questions.
All right.
Okay, don't think too much. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's
Ribs
do
or
it.
brisket?
Brisket.
Favorite female Texas-born musician? Beyonce or Kelly Clarkson?
Oh, Beyonce.
Favorite male Texas-born musician? Kenny Rogers or Willie Nelson?
Oh, I gotta be honest. I'm not super familiar with either. I'm gonna go Nelly. A little non-known fact, St. Louis guy, but I think he was born in Austin, Texas, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah, according to our producer, we're going with Texas for this podcast.
Schatz would definitely agree with that. Willie Nelson has nothing to do with his music.
Listen, true or false? Texas is so big, it uses its own power grid separate from the rest of the U.S.
I think that's true. Small story on that. We were with our Raising Cane's friends last night. That's where I learned this, actually, at dinner last night, is that that is true, I think.
That is true.
Boom.
And the Gaylord actually also has its own power grid because of to keep the dome air conditioned. I don't know if that's true or false. I just made that up.
I got a funny
But it
story.
was interesting.
I think you just made that up.
It was interesting.
pretty
Interesting little fact.
I got a funny story I have to tell you guys about a trip I made from Austin to Lubbock. I drove the whole way.
This is the podcast. This is Daran. on
Never
this
seen
podcast.
so many wind farms.
Where?
From Lubbock to Austin. Just
Oh,
drove.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is an interesting. Maybe that's where
Interesting
Gaylord gets
factoid.
his little
Interesting
factoid
factoid.
there.
All right. Sorry
Okay.
to interrupt the quick
No
fire.
problem. It's not the quick fire, just slow fire. If you were to challenge Jimmy Rye to a game of Texas Hold'em, who do you have better odds of beating?
Shatsy.
Yes, I can't believe.
Why don't you think about that?
Yeah,
for a
I was
minute?
going to say,
I need to think about that.
I can't believe it took Daran even that long to come up with that
Why don't you
answer.
think about it? Holy,
I
my
look at Jimmy. He's got a great poker face. I'm guessing, but I think you got a great poker face.
He does. All right, listen, Daran, thanks for stopping by. I mean, this was awesome. We got a lot of people to get to from the Cargill team. So let's keep it going, okay?
This is
I
great.
appreciate
Daran,
it.
thank you so much. All right,
appreciate
let's
that.
roll. All right, that was great to have Daran. Great to talk with the Cargill Digital Studio.
Love what they're
Very
doing.
good fun. All right, we're gonna roll. Let's roll. We got.
Still can't believe how much business they do.
They do a little bit of business.
A lot of business.
We got a lot of wood to chop, man. We got a lot. We're on a
lot of
journey.
catching up to do.
A lot of catching up. All right, listen. We are very excited to have Stacey High here, the digital product owner of Kitchen Blueprint. Stacey, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Hospitality Hangout. Hope you're having a great visit here to FSTEC. We'd love you to introduce yourself to our listeners, and of course, Kitchen Blueprint.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. As you mentioned, I'm Stacey High, H-E-Y, but pronounced High. We covered that a little bit earlier.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Hi. Hey.
Gotta love it. So yeah, I lead the Kitchen Blueprint business, which when you were talking to Daran, you talked about the non-sexy back of house.
He didn't explain it well.
Well, that's kind of
I
where
thought he was poetry. I thought it was silky how he explained it. It was perfect.
I didn't understand it. Stacey, can you explain it better?
absolutely.
Thank you.
So back of house, it's stinky, it's hot, it's sweaty, it's nasty, right? We've all
Yeah.
been there. We've all
What we need is air conditioning.
right. We need we need the Gaylord air conditioning.
That's what we need.
And what we've discovered is that there's a ton of opportunity to make that space better for our customers. And unfortunately, it's an area that tech is just sort of, it's lagged, right?
You don't think about tech in the back of the house.
You kind of don't.
No.
You just want things to
Ovens,
work,
fryers, dishwashers, not a lot of tech. You don't think about it anyway.
right? So we say we can do that differently, and we can make it much better for our customers. And so what we think about every day is connecting those customers to their supplier in the form of a distributor, for the most part, and then all the way to their consumer at the point of sale. And if we can make those connections work best for our customers, there's a whole host of new opportunities that come to bear, whether that be optimization of profits, whether that be reduction of labor reliance, whether that be whole new opportunities to automate areas of the restaurant they otherwise would not have gone or would have gone undiscovered. So that's really the heart of what we focus on. So we're in the ugly part of the business, but we see a ton of potential, and we love working with customers and getting our hands dirty.
I want to chime in here. And first of all, your description was great. And thank you for clarifying that. And I'm actually really excited about your business. For those who are not in the hospitality industry, I don't want you to think of the kitchen in such dark ways. What I want you to do is the following. In golf, of which I'm not a golfer, but I understand the sport.
I've played, Jimmy. You're terrible.
I'm terrible. But people talk about how you drive for show. Get ready for it, folks. And you putt for dough.
I coined that phrase.
In the restaurant industry, money is made and lost really in the back of house. So I'm telling you, if you think about all the attention front of house gets, and front of house is, of course, important. But at the end of the day, the money is truly made or lost in the back of house. So I actually love what you're doing. Can you share your favorite kitchen blueprint customer story?
Really putting her on the spot there.
Well, I am caffeinated. I didn't get all dressed up for nothing.
It's hard to pick only one. Right?
Okay. Give it two.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
But I'd say
take a moment.
You can make it up. We won't know.
Take a moment. Talk amongst yourselves.
We don't have. Yeah. I would say one of my favorite stories is we're working with a chicken and biscuits concept down in Southeast U.S. and they're bringing back a nostalgic brand that was big back in like the 70s and 80s.
Who doesn't love chicken and biscuits?
Chicken and biscuits.
I love chicken. I love biscuits. I
love
love chicken and
together.
biscuits.
Yeah, you put some gravy in that? Oh.
Hey, said chicken and biscuits. We didn't say gravy.
Well, it's got to have gravy. I'm sure there's gravy.
I'm sure there's
sorry,
gravy.
but we digress. Sorry. Back to the
To the story.
So anyway, the chicken and biscuits brand is growing very quickly, and they're going to about 50 locations in the next year and a half. And so they came to Kitchen Blueprint to say, could you help us accelerate that growth path? And we thought, wait a minute, we're not a brand builder. We're not about marketing. We're not about getting your food out to new consumers. And it was all about, as you mentioned, Jimmy, how do you make the back of house better so you can grow faster, you can have a repeatable model, and you can understand exactly where your dollars are going so you figure out where to invest more quickly. And
I just got to tell you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but in all sincerity, I've invested in the restaurant space and now the technology space for quite a while. I got to tell you, if somebody at a restaurant concept would start their pitch with how they've actually brought efficiencies to the back of house and start there, I'd be far more impressed with their business model and acumen, because they're going to talk about the flashy side, the
marketing,
they're going to talk
customer
about
engagement,
they're going to talk about all that. But actually, as I said, whether they're going to make or lose money, it's going to be the back of house. I actually love the way you just said you're helping this, I guess, this nostalgic brand that's coming back, and you're focusing on how to make sure they come back as the most modernized and focus on back of house. I think that's awesome. I gotta have more people speaking to you.
That is a great story.
It's a great story.
That is a great story.
Is there another story, or is there a fish?
I wish we were recording right now because I love what you just said.
Stacey,
I think
Stacey,
we're recording.
Really?
We're recording. I think this is good.
Yeah,
Good?
I think. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. See,
Good
that's
work.
the best.
It's
That's
the
why
best.
this podcast is so intriguing.
That's how I always record you.
Because you're getting
Always.
stuff.
I'm always recording.
Always recording. It's like the White House. All right, listen. We're going right to the branded quickfire right now, Texas edition. Okay, I'm going to ask you 5 lightning round questions. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. Ribs or brisket?
Ribs.
Favorite female Texas-born musician? Beyonce or Kelly Clarkson?
They, absolutely.
Favorite male Texas-born musician? Kenny Rogers or Willie Nelson?
Willie.
True or false? Texas is so big, it uses its own power grid to separate from the rest of the U.S.
Absolutely true, as we all learned about, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, that grid.
It is absolutely true.
It's like DirecTV, bad storm, grid gone.
If you were to challenge Jimmy or I to a game of Texas Hold'em, who would you have better odds of beating?
Boy, I think I just changed the game.
Ooh, clever.
Look at that.
Clever. By the way, if you couldn't change the game,
Did there?
yes, I see what you did.
If you couldn't change the game, who would you beat?
Both of you.
Oh,
All right. I could have sworn it was going to be you. All right.
I would have bet as well.
I would have bet yes. Anyway, it's all good. Stacey, we're so excited you came on the podcast with us and talked about Kitchen Blueprint, and really excited to see how the company advances, develops, and really look forward to participating and being part of your journey. But congratulations on the success so far. And again, thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stacey.
Awesome.
All right. Cheers.
All right, I got to tell you, great chatting with Stacey. Awesome.
Good fun.
Good stuff. Great story. Great story.
Learned a few things.
I learned that I really want biscuits and chicken right now.
Shatsy, I'm going to let you have some gravy too.
Does a Gaylord have that, do you think?
They have that chicken.
All right, listen, we got another great guest, Jessica Stanchfield, digital product owner of Hot Take. Super excited. Give us a little background on yourself and what is Hot Take?
Sure thing.
Can we eat it?
That sounds like it'd be good. Hot Take, we are an innovation and insights platform. So we believe that iterative insights and bringing the consumer voice into your innovation process are critical to making better business decisions. So you may have saw last night the Hot Take study with Mariah's cookies.
Yes, I'm still questioning the accuracy of this,
Well,
but we'll get into that later.
We can deep dive into the data.
I can't believe chocolate chip cookie lost. I'm sorry.
I was just as surprised as well. And so, yeah, Hot Take, we offer basically two different things going on. We have a custom agency light type insights platform, much like what you saw last night. And then we also have a new consumer-facing food discovery app.
Tell us about that. You've piqued my interest.
Chatsy's doing his Fraser Crane. He's listening.
Yes, tell us.
So our new app coming out very soon here. Excited to launch that in the next month. Is going to be all about food discovery. It's a personalized app that takes into account your preferences, dietary things, etc., and is also algorithmically recommending new food products to you based off your behaviors and what you say you like and are interested in.
Wow.
It's wicked cool.
Yeah.
No, I like that because I always told you, Jimmy, I want to walk into a restaurant, sit down, they bring me the food that I want to eat because they know what I want to eat. And I don't have to think about it.
Shatsy, you eat your own restaurants like 90% of the time, and that's exactly what they do.
Because they know what I want
They know
to
what
eat.
they know what you're eating. Now, if you start going out to other restaurants,
That's what I want to do. I want to walk into another restaurant and they just bring me food. Yes.
that they're working on.
Can you share your favorite Hot Take customer story?
Sure thing. So we recently worked with a different fried chicken chain based out on the West Coast called Starbird Chicken. And
Starbird.
Remember these guys?
I love Aaron.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to see him next month out in San Fran.
Love Aaron.
They are awesome. Chicken is so tasty.
Growing gangbusters, too.
I'm a personal big fan of chicken tenders. And so they have a great product. And most recently, we actually helped them launch, funny enough, their summer LTO, which was the summer of salads. Weird for a chicken place, I know, but
you put chicken on top of that salad and you got something.
now we got something else.
You got a few. You're only a few ingredients away from a cup.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we partnered with Starbird to really help them understand before they went out and launched these items, which of their concepts that they were working on had the best chance of success. So think about their innovation pipeline. As early as possible, we got surveys and consumers answering more about the brand, what they're interested in, and giving feedback on these concepts, images, and kind of menu description items. So we're really excited because when they launched, they not only had their best LTO release ever, but it turned out to be their second best selling item.
So you had insights to help them decide what their LTO would be.
Right. And the funny part was that it was actually going against the gut feeling of what everybody on the team wanted to do. So,
They wanted to do a chicken sandwich.
Well, they had I can't remember the exact.
No, they had a view.
They had their favorites.
I love that you just used the word gut, and I love that. Schatz and I have been in the industry, admittedly, a long time, a whole bunch of decades, and it is an industry where so many decisions are made by gut and certainly experience and instincts. And I think that should never change, except imagine how much better one's gut instincts and experience would be if you armed it with real insights, real feedback, real data and analytics. So I'm actually thrilled that you actually not just shared the good story about how you launched such a successful product with Starbird, but that it actually went against the gut of the folks that initially would have felt it was going in a different direction. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, man, that's, using data and marketing and research. That's awesome. All right, finish this sentence. If every restaurant was a Hot Take customer, then?
I think the world would be filled with better and more interesting menus.
Yes, and joy and happiness.
By the way, that's pretty good.
I like that too. But I had to join happiness. I feel like.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that sentence that Jessica gave was so good. We didn't need to add to it, but you did.
No, I think I made it better.
You think you did?
Yeah, I definitely made it better. All right, listen, we got to go right to the quick fire. We got quick fire, Texas edition. All right, 5 lightning round questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Ribs or brisket?
Tri-tip.
Is that part of that?
That's a rib tip.
Oh, is that okay? Is that part? So it's not ribs,
really
brisket,
good,
or tri-tip?
It's also a fun customer story. Buckhorn Grill it makes an awesome tri-tip. It's a great cut, underutilized cut of meat.
Underutilized cut of meat. By the way, this segment was sponsored by, what was the name of that place?
Buckhorn.
Buckhorn. It's sponsored by. There we go.
Jessica's family owns that.
Family business.
Yeah, family's owned it for 50 years.
I'm telling you, it's good.
Favorite female Texas-born musician? Kelly Clarkson or Beyonce?
He's killing it. Killing it.
Yeah, nobody likes Kelly.
I like Kelly.
Have you heard her latest album?
Yeah, but by the way, I love Kelly, but I gotta say, you put Kelly up against a lot of other artists, Kelly's got a chance. Put her against Queen Bee.
She's the queen.
Yeah.
Famous male Texas-born musician, Willie Nelson or Kenny Rogers?
Willie Nelson, because I love his Christmas album.
What happened to Kenny Rogers?
By the way, I'm on the Kenny team. I'm on the Kenny team.
Doesn't he have a chicken brand, or didn't he have a chicken brand?
My karaoke go-to song, it's a Kenny Rogers song.
Yeah, there we go. Jim, you want to sing it?
You definitely don't want me to sing it.
True or false? Texas is so big, it uses its own power grid, separate from the rest of the U.S.
True.
True or false? The Gaylord Hotel has its own power grid.
Feels like it should be true.
Yes. Yes, true. If you were to challenge Jimmy or I to a game of Texas Hold'em, who would you be?
Thank you.
Of course you'd beat me.
Yeah, and by the way, for our audience, the you was Jessica looking, pointing, and like signaling Shatsy.
Yeah, it wasn't even. All right, listen. This was great. Love what you guys are doing over there at Hot Take. It's really cool stuff. Thanks for stopping by. This is awesome, and enjoy the rest of the show.
You as well.
Thank you,
so much.
Jessica.
Wow,
Jessica. Wow, Jessica, good stories.
I mean, Hot Take, great stories.
We're crushing it. Let's keep this party going.
But I finished the sentence better, right?
I still don't think you did. Listen, we have Nate Shrader, digital product owner from Chekt. This is exciting. Welcome to the podcast, Nate. Why don't we let you introduce yourself, and then we'd love to understand in a nutshell what is Chekt? What's the problem, solution, vision? Let's start. Tell us about Nate.
Oh, sure. Thanks for having me. First of all,
Nate tick?
What makes Nate tick? Gosh, well, like a lot of us at Cargill, I'm up in Minnesota, born and raised up there.
Great winters.
Yeah. Love the winters, love the cold weather. But gosh, it's so great being down here in Texas. I can't, speak enough. The weather is just so much better down here. It's hot, but fantastic. So anyway, a little bit about me. I'm the founder of Chekt, which is, like Daran mentioned earlier in the podcast, one of the ventures in the Cargill Digital Business Studio.
One of the earlier ones, yes?
Correct, yeah. Started just kind of late 2020, I think September 2020. So just as the pandemic was starting to really pick up later that year. So what Chekt is, it's a modular smart food locker solution designed to transform takeout pickup for restaurants and really anyone who is a really high congested food service provider. So stadiums, also colleges, universities as well.
Excellent. Can you share for our listeners your favorite? I apologize. I should.
Got you confused there?
No, well, because it says kitchen blueprint, but I that's my fault. I did
You had a brain fart.
You're like double take.
Wait a minute. Is it yesterday?
Sorry. Nate, can you share for our listeners your favorite Chekt customer story?
Absolutely. One that comes to mind is we partnered with Aramark and the Pittsburgh Penguins out in Pittsburgh, PPG Arena, NHL team. And what I loved working with them on that pilot is actually kind of rescope the entire layout of the kitchen around the Chekt locker solution. And so they blew out a wall. There was a kitchen behind the lockers themselves. They were able to reorient the entire footprint and the front of house experience to provide a better pickup experience for fans. No standing in line at all. They would simply order food from their phone, from their seats, arrive, the locker would unlock with a simple push of a button or a text message from their phone. They would retrieve their order and be on their way to enjoy the rest of the game.
I tell you, I love that, and I love the use case because you know how many times I've been in an arena and I'm like, I'm not leaving my seat because I'm not waiting on a line to get my 3 hot dogs and 2 beers, side of fries, cheeseburger. That's just for Jimmy.
That's not like for the whole family.
But I'm not leaving my seat. I don't want to miss the action. So I love that I love the Penguins and Aramark. They know a thing or two about food service.
Yeah, they're a big company also.
All right, Nate, listen, finish the following sentence. If every restaurant was a Chekt customer, then
Everybody wins. So consumers don't have to wait in line. They save more time. They get their food hot and fresh.
And you'd bring joy and happiness to the world.
Joy and happiness.
I made it better.
now you just milking it. I like Nate's answer.
What are you talking about? If every restaurant was a
zhuzhing.
Chekt customer, the world would be a happier, more joyful place.
World peace.
Yeah. Thank you.
I once again, I actually don't think you made it better. I like Nate's point. Everyone wins.
Operators win too. They're able to streamline their operations.
And a
Staff,
more joyful, happy world.
joyful, happy world, employee satisfaction.
All right, listen, we're going Brandon Quickfire text edition. Producer yelling at me. We got to get moving on this. All right, are you ready? 5 lightning round questions. Here we are. Brandon Quickfire, Texas edition. Ribs or brisket?
Brisket.
Oh, thank God it wasn't tri-tip. I know it threw me off for a loop, that tri-tip, right? Favorite female-born musician from Texas. Texas, female-born Texas. Beyonce or Kelly Clarkson?
Kelly Clarkson.
Favorite male Texas musician. Kenny Rogers or Willie Nelson?
Willie Nelson.
Damn it. True or false? Texas is so big, it uses its own power grid to separate from the rest of the U.S.
I'm going to say true.
If you were to challenge, you were right, by the way. It is true. It is true. Texas has its own power grid. And interestingly enough, the Gaylord Resort also has its own power grid just to keep the air conditioning going.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I
yes.
think that's true or false.
That is true.
That's not true.
That is not true.
Not true.
Well, it should. True or false? The Gaylord uses wind power to power the entire operation.
I'm going to say that has to be true.
That is true also, Jimmy.
Well,
We are learning so much.
Yeah, keep
True or
going.
false? The Gaylord has the best brisket.
Hey, kids out there.
All right,
stay in school. Stay in school.
If you were to challenge Jimmy Wright to a game of Texas Hold'em, who would have better odds of beating?
I'm going to say Schatzberg.
Of course you would.
Yeah. By the way, that question was just it's perfect for me.
Everybody needs to be in the green room next time. it's it's not fair. Anyway, listen, this was awesome. I know you got a lot of work to do. You got to sell a lot of these Chekt lockers. So thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of the show. This is awesome.
Nate,
Great seeing you, Nate.
Nate, thank you so much.
To our listeners, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in with us. We know there are literally hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and the fact you choose to hang out with us is something we value and we appreciate. Please join us next week as we welcome our guest, Jeff Chandler, CEO, president of Hop Daddy Burger Bar and High Bar Hospitality Group. You don't want to miss it. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our podcast. So you don't miss on any of the exciting guests coming up in the future. And better yet, invite a friend to hang out with us the next time. This is Jimmy Frischling, your finance guy, signing off. And I'll pass it back to my boy Shatsy to close us out.
This is the restaurant guy, a.k.a. Shatsy, or Shatsy, a.k.a. the restaurant guy. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Thanks.